today we've got a little tackle time video. I've had quite a few requests on how to elasticate top kits. Now, if you've got existing elastic in, yes, you can tie it to it and pull it through. That's a logical way to do it. But what I want to do is show you how to do it step by step, as if you've just got your top kits. So this one has still got a little bit of elastic in, so we'll just get rid of that first, out of the way. Right, so you've got two sides of your top kits. Now, if you've got a puller bung and you haven't got side pullers or anything like that, that doesn't make a difference. We'll go to that point a bit later on. So we're just going to discard the back part of it first. We're going to start with the top tip of your top kit, the one that the end is the bushes. So the first tool that you need when you're doing any sort of elastication or work like that is a threader. So it's just basically a piece of wire with a diamond on the end where we pull attach the elastic to. So we'll go on to attaching that bit, but the simple bit first is to just get not the end that's got the loop on it, just the normal end, which is just a normal piece of wire, and we start by putting that straight through the top of your top section. And these are they're coming about sort of 2 meters, maybe just a bit more than 2 meters, so don't worry about it, you'll have enough to get through. And then you're basically looking for it to come through that next end bit there, which is coming, and there we go. So now we've got it coming out this end. Just pull a little bit and we've got it out this end. Now this is the bit where you have to use, now this is a bit of a heavy elastic, works exactly the same with other elastics. Obviously I'm putting a heavy elastic in because I'm going to do a bit of margin fishing. So these loops are a bit crossed, so you put it through sort of about ½ an inch and just pull it against it and it'll hold on to it like that. And then what you're going to do is pull from this end. I'm just going to move that little rig out of the way a second. We just pull from this end and this will start to pull the elastic through. Like so. Now, once you've got that bit of elastic through, take off the threader, just give it a little bit more of a pull so you're not going to lose any. Now, before I go to elasticate the other half, this is what I do, and this is a piece of advice I give to you because I've learned from my own mistakes of pulling it through and it being an absolute nightmare, and you've got it all threaded and you pull it through the other end. So, to attach a Dacron connector, just get your elastic and just do an overhand knot. Just try and keep it as far up as you can. So I'll leave an inch or so and pull down, and then you've got a knot like that on your main line. I'll just put that against my hand so the camera can pick that up. It's just a simple knot over the main line. Now your Dacron connectors, what you must do is look at the grading of the Dacron connector because it will tell you what thickness of elastic that it's for. So I'm just going to show you. So when they come, they're on a slight little bit of tubing and they have a sort of looped part on that end. That end is what you're going to need first. So what you do is you just put your elastic through that piece, so you're sliding onto the elastic there and it's on the main part. And then what you need to do is work that, just make it a little bit bigger and work that over that knot, which it's a bit fiddly to show on camera. I'll just try and stretch it with the beads in the way. It's a bit harder when you've got bigger elastics, you see. So I'm just going to pull that over and keep tightening it. Nearly through. There we go. So it's on the other side now of the elastic, more or less. There we go. There we go. So as you can see, I've slid it through and it's behind the knot now. The simple thing you need to do now is pull down the little bead so it's still behind that knot. So that's going to tighten onto this piece of elastic and that knot's going to stop it from coming off. So when you pull it like that, that is sat now behind that knot and it can't come off. We've pulled it tight so that the knot has started to go tight behind the Dacron connector, like so. and snip off that. I always leave a little tag, but that's not going anywhere now, so that's on. It's pulled it inside, the bead's full up with the elastic, the knot's sat behind, it isn't going to come off, and it's directly in line. What we do from there is just pull the excess elastic backwards, so that's now attached. So our top kit part is complete, ready for attaching. So we push that forward, out of the way a minute. Now most people think we attach the elastic and go back through. When you've got a slot, it's quite difficult to do that. So if you want to do it, if you've got, say, like a puller bung, you can now thread that wire, this wire here, back through there and out the other side, and attach the elastic, pull it through, and then have your bung out, hanging out, and push that through that. We're not going to do that because we haven't got one of those puller bungs with us. We've got a slot. So in order to, because it's quite difficult with a slot how the angle is, if you were to push that way, it'd catch on the slot on the inside and it would make it nearly impossible to do. So what, instead of threading it through with this side that you'd normally do it through, this side, what we're going to do is go to the side that's got the loop on it, and the loop is going to go in first. And the reason is, when that gets to the top, then we can attach that elastic to it. So we push this all the way through, just as we did before, through your side. This works on a puller bung and roller pullers, anything like that. We'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until it comes out the other end, which is nearly there. I can hear it. It's a little bit more fiddly through the side slot. It's nearly out. There we go. So that now gives you the loop. So as you did before, the same connection as you did before. So all we're going to do is just push that through the loop and pull it against the bit where it grabs it. So it's tight there. It's nipped up and it's not going to come out. And then just follow that process. So just stand back a little bit so I can get a bit of an angle. And then we pull that wire backwards, which obviously pulls the elastic back through. That's why we send the loop in first. And then obviously it comes out the other end. And then we connect your pole together, as you normally would. And we're left with the elastic coming out the pole. As you can see, there's excess elastic. I always keep my excess elastic because you can fold it up and do that to hold things together, rods, whatever. It's always good to have for feeders. Obviously this is a bit thick for feeders, but your lighter elastics. Now, when you fish your elastics, before you've done it, you can either do one or two things. You can get your mate, you can now it's attached, you can hold this and get your mate to walk back as far as it'll go to stretch it out, if you want to do that. All I do is pull it till it's tight, and then I take about 6 inches, and then I tie what they call a spider knot. Now this doesn't work always, depending on the elastic. So if you've got a thinner elastic, you will need to put a bead on. So just keep this attached to the metal and push the metal through the bead and pull the elastic through, because you'll never thread it through, it's impossible. Pull the bead down to where you want to, tie a knot behind it and pull the knot inside it. The way I do it here, because it's such a big elastic, it's never going to go inside, I've just turned an overhand loop and I snip there, like that, so I can get my finger in there to pull. That's just the way I like to do it. Don't give me hate, because there's loads of people that do it their own ways. That's the way I do it. There's a loop behind it, it makes it easy for me. I enjoy it. I enjoy fishing it like that. I can loop it up there and hang it onto my finger and stuff like that. That's just the way I do it. But now, as you can see, I've got, still use the lubrication. You can get the elastic lube just to put a little bit on. As you can see, the elastic's coming out perfect. It nips straight, goes straight back in. There's no sort of strain on it. It's perfect on the other end. The last thing I'm going to do, because this is a question I get asked all the time, is how do we connect the line? Right guys, so what we're going to do is another question I get asked all the time is how do you attach a Dacron to, a line to the Dacron. So I'm just going to lift my Dacron connector up here. So this is a sample piece of line, but it just shows you. So this would be the loop of your top of your line. So I'm just going to hold it there, just so you can see. So the normal loop, as you would have connecting to your stone throw connectors. So there's line behind it. So what I'm going to do is, so imagine you just put a bump in the line. It's going to be quite difficult to do. So pinch the line. I'm going to try and do this as slow as I can. Once I've got it in position, I can show the cameraman, you see. So we've pinched the line and it's made a bump in the line. So if you imagine it goes now like that in your line. So I've literally just brought two sides together to make this. Right? Are we okay? Right, so that goes through that loop. Can you see that? So if you get the loop, imagine you just put the loop over the top of it. And then, so I'm going to do it again slowly. The little loop, the normal big loop that you would connect to your connector, goes over the little loop that you've just made in the line. Now that little loop then goes over the top of the connector. Let go of your big loop, hold on to the connector and just pull with your left hand, let go of the line, keep your fingers together like this so then it can't come off. So I'm just doing it in stages so you can see, and then as soon as I pull it tighter, there you go, it's onto the main line. And we're going to do it again to show you. Now to take it off, push on the line like that and it'll just slide straight off. So we'll do that again in slow motion because it's really difficult to see. So what we're effectively doing, I'm just going to put that over here to try and show you, is what we're going to try and do is we're trying to make that shape. Can we get that on camera? So we're trying to make that shape together like that, and then that leaves you with the loop still in your hand. The loop goes over that shape you just made, and then the shape that you've made goes over the knot. Hold the top of the knot and then just pull with your left hand away, let go of the line, keep your thumb and your finger on there because that stops the knot coming over the top. Keep pulling until that knot settles itself, and then just slide it up behind the knot. That's as easy as it is. It's as easy as I can show you without showing you in real life. And again, to take it off, put your two fingers together and push. It'll create two loops and then just lift up and it'll come straight off. Right guys, so hopefully that was helpful for you. Two things that are really essential in pole fishing. A lot better to have a Dacron connector. It's a direct from tip to fish. It's a lot easier for shallow fishing and just less likely for the sleeve to come off and to lose your line. It's nearly impossible. So thanks again for watching. Join us on the Facebook group at Angling For You. Join us on the Instagram at angling_for_you. Thanks a lot guys. Tight lines.